This falling stick challenge game is intimidating, especially this guy's skills. I tried to get the exact same machine and it cost more than $1,000. So I opted for the cheaper one from Amazon and they suck. They're made out of very cheap material like pool noodles and the caps keep coming off and they're dangerous. They can hurt you and burn the wires sometimes. So in this video I will share with you step by step how I was able to build this for a fraction of a cost. And all started with 3D printing. So after going through trials and errors and using unfamiliar material like PVC pipes and literally broomsticks. So we see the torsion effect in this pipe when everything is twisting as we go further in length. It was unstable. I think I'm gonna have to build it myself then. So using a simple tool like Tinkercad, I was able to 3D model this truss system. Just a triangular shape and was able to hold all the weight without any torsion. And I had to go through a lot of trial and errors and trying different models to come up with the most optimized and easier to 3D print. This truss system is so sturdy and I can't even twist it with my hands. So as you can see, this project really took hundreds of hours and trial and error, printing filaments all day and night to finally come up with the perfect design. You're asking why I went with the truss system, because I want to avoid torsion, because torsion is your enemy. It's assembly time. Let's do it. So after 3D printing all the trusses, I used screws and nuts and my screwdriver to assemble everything and put it together. And this task was the easiest and the most fun actually, since I was able to see the entire project come together and I'm able to even 3D print a place for my controller. I also went ahead and 3D printed holders for my magnets, since I wanted to use 8 sticks and 8 servo motors to move these sticks out of the place and make them fall. I had to 3D print and custom design all the parts. And here we have it, a complete 3D printed stick drop challenge game with 8 sticks. Let's go back and put some servo motors. Putting a servo motor is not the easiest task, since I had to do with a lot of wiring. Now that all these servo motors are cut and ready, we need to put the shaft to attach the magnets. Let's do it. So the whole idea of using servo motors is to basically center a permanent magnet that will face the falling stick from the other side, and when the shaft moves 90 degrees, it will make the stick fall since they are not aligned anymore. Now that we have all the servo motors ready and this shaft is attached to each individual one of them, let's put these magnets on. Since I wanted the quality of this game to be very comparable to the $1,000 piece, I used the rare earth neodymium magnets. They are so strong, they will stick together. I just found a problem with these 3D prints. There's a seam line here, something wrong with the printer settings. This is making it show this line, and it is brittle, and it snaps. Now we have to redo everything. Of course, making mistakes is part of the learning, and this is actually what I ended up doing, reprinting everything. Now it's time to prepare these sticks and add some magnets to it. On the other side, using these high-quality foam-protected metallic sticks, I was able to insert the other pole of the magnet inside the sticks and hide it, and I had to screw them together. It is relatively a heavy stick, but with this high quality and strong magnet, it should be able to hold itself in place when it is facing the other pole on the servo motor. Now another problem I just ran into is this magnet on the shaft just snapped. I have to reprint it again. When things fail before I assemble them, I really get frustrated, but at the same time, it is much easier to fix and 3D print again before I put everything together. Imagine what would have happened if I have assembled everything. Now 10 minutes later, I have this 3D printed again, and the servo motor is ready to be installed inside the game. Just try to wiggle this in carefully. Now snap it again. I don't want to lose it. What is going on now? So again, it was stuck, but to my surprise, it worked. Finally, here we go. And now I have everything I need to assemble this game. So let's put these servo motors inside each of these boxes. Putting the servo motors inside the casing for this 3D printing truss was one of the most satisfying steps that I've done, since you feel that it is coming together. The game is almost assembled, and I can even test it with my sticks since I have magnets on both sides. And just like that, we have this assembled, and we're gonna test it for latching. It works. And that means it's time for electric wiring. Let's do it. Electric wiring is intimidating. I'm an electrical engineer, so I know exactly what I'm doing, but I know that running all those thin wires through this game will be a headache. And I have to make sure all connections are secure, so I have to solder them. Next, I took everything outdoor for better ventilation since I wanted to make a secure connection. I'm using my soldering machine or the soldering gun. So I had to strip all the wires and measure a connector wire. I had to do 3 wires per servo motor, run them all the way back to the controller or the central hub. And believe it or not, it was not the easiest task since it takes a lot of precision to solder these small wires. And even during the assembly, I figured that having 24 wires would be so much of wiring noodles. So I started combining everything in parallel and I had fewer wires going back. And just like that, I have all the wires soldered and run back to this hub where I put my microcontroller or the brain. Let's work on that together. But before I put this microcontroller and run all the wires, let's hide these wires with this cable management. Let's do it together. Since I wanted this game to look so professional, I decided to hide all the wires. So I used this wiring management system that I bought from Amazon, and I had to zip tie every single servo motor just to make it secure. It was a pain to insert all these wires. My fingers were literally blistering, and I had to do it by hand. I couldn't find any tool that will help me. But believe it or not, after doing the right side, the left side came about a lot easier since I kind of learned from the other side what to avoid and what to do. But the most important part is to make it aesthetically appealing. And just like that, I have all the wires now hidden inside these wire management cables, and they're all run back to the microcontroller. Let's add this push button to the hub so we can then solder all the wires together. I like all my designs to be so efficient, so I decided to opt for a single button. So one push button, which will have multifunctional modes for this game and to look so professional. And now that I'm done with the button, let's put some LED lights to make it light up. Of course, you can't decide the mode if you don't see what's going on. So I decided to add 3 colors: green for easy, orange for medium, and red for hard mode. Now it's time to put the microcontroller after we ran all our wires. We're ready to go. To control 8 servo motors, I needed something called a shield. So I had to screw all the controlling signals for the servo motors on this shield and then insert my microcontroller on it. And I chose USB-C port to power all my servo motors and the microcontroller together. And after I'm done, I had to put everything together and make sure that I solder all the positives to the positives and the negatives to the negatives and the servo motor signals to the shield. And believe it or not, this was the most difficult part since I had too many wires. Next step, I'm going to add something called sound effect or electronic buzzer. And since I wanted this to be so professional and close to the quality of that $1,000 piece, I added an electronic buzzer that will help me run melody for each mode. Even sleep mode has a melody. And I have to run everything back to the microcontroller and hook it up again, and it was a pain. And now that I'm done with all my wirings for the microcontroller, it's time to write the logic for it and put one. Writing in code is one of the most satisfying part of building this game. I had to tweak it, make sure it works, and test it, and even simulate it on TurkeyCAD. So I built everything based on Arduino with a breadboard and a bunch of LED lights, red, green, and orange, and I put my servo motors and a push button. I had to write the logic and test it. So when you click once, it will run the symbol mode, which is moving the servo motors in one direction only and back to center. So if I click once, as you're seeing here on the screen, everything will run and the logic will force the green LED to light up, and then all servo motors will be turning 90 degrees. It's so much fun. Now that the logic is ready, I uploaded everything onto this microcontroller. I put everything in place, tried to squeeze all the wires inside this casing. I really regret not making the casing a little bigger, just a little, like a couple of centimeters bigger. But I had to squeeze everything and I had to tie in all these wires again to the shield before I put everything. And I ran into a lot of problems since I was pushing the wires. The microcontroller was not receiving any power, so I had to test again, take it apart, and make sure that I'm not pushing against these wires. It's time to hook it up to a power source and see if it works. Here we go, moment of truth. Oh my god, this is working. Let's put it all together and test it out. So after testing, of course, I had to assemble it. So I chose to put the cap on while the battery is on, just to make sure I'm not losing any connection. Now that I got everything put together and tested, let's put it on a tripod and test the actual sticks. I'm really hoping this will work, as I don't have a lot of confidence in my wiring. Let's see. This actually was the fun part, just to put the sticks on and run the game. It's working. Let's test mode number 1. Hopefully this will work. Oh yeah. Forgot to put the most important part. These are the pieces that will make it stick. And having caught that, I needed something to keep the sticks in place. So when the servo motors turn 90 degrees, the sticks will not be facing the magnet on the servo, and that's why it will fall. I have a problem with the position of the magnets, so I have to redo the entire magnet positioning. I have to take it apart, put it back up. We'll see how that goes. This was one of the most frustrating moments during this build, since I had to take all the servo motors out, reposition the magnets, test them, and put them back together. It took a lot of time. I'm speeding this about 20 times. It took almost more than an hour, but honestly, I'm really happy that worked before I put everything together. I really wanted this to be final product. I found that all the motors are working fine now, and we get to test it. Moment of truth. They're supposed to drop one at a time. Randomly. Yes! Finally, thank God. Whew, it's working. And just like that, my friends, I present to you my falling stick challenge game that I built from scratch, and I designed every single part of it. It uses the highest quality material in the market, and it's very comparable to the $1,000 piece, but it does cost a fraction of that. And it's so much fun to play with. You can customize the code, and you can even challenge your friends with it. Thanks for watching again. If you're interested in buying one, I'll leave the link in the description. I will leave all the source code and everything, all the parts in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me to see more builds like this and even more challenging. See you next time.